Hello and welcome to Create a New Money Reality Masterclass. This is your host, Jacqueline Tabrizi. Our guest today is an international speaker and trainer, best-selling author, and executive producer of the Working Women's Channel and Living Real TV. Her passion is in helping women in business take control back of their time and get clear on their goals, all without burnout. She will help you work smarter so you can create more time, generate more business, and design a life you love, all on your terms. I'm so pleased to welcome Clara Capano. Welcome, Clara.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here, and I love what you are doing and the messages that you are putting forth so that people can become stronger and looking at different ways to, increase their income, their wealth, and also just their overall well-being. So thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. Thank you. It's our pleasure to having you, and thank you for being here. So tell us what you do and why you do it.
So what I do is I am really focusing on getting the message of taking back your voice and taking back control over your time. So I speak, I have my TV show, I am an author, and it all sort of stemmed from me doing everything wrong. I spent too many years just running on that hamster wheel, just trying to go after the titles and working too many hours and saying yes to helping everybody else and putting my life and my goals on the back burner. And so what I really want to do now, what really drives me is there was a moment in my life where when my son was about 3 years old and all he wanted to do was just show me a picture that he made in class that day. And I was too busy to really even be present and look at it. And it was really in that moment that I'm like, this is not working anymore. I cannot be doing this because I was so unpresent everywhere. And I was not showing up authentically. And I was getting further and further away from the life that I really wanted to create. And quite frankly, I didn't like the woman that I was looking at in the mirror. So I do what I do so other women don't have to do those same things, so that they start to understand early on that their voice, that their dreams and their time is valuable. So teaching them the power of saying no so they can really say yes and again create their vision of success on their terms.
So impressive, so impressive. I love what you say. I support women to own their voice. Maybe some of our audience doesn't know what is owning your voice. So what do you mean by owning your voice?
That's a great question. And I think it could be different for everyone. What it means for me is being very clear on my vision of not just what I want to do professionally, but again, who is it that I want to become? Is there a legacy that I want to leave behind? And understanding that that vision is bringing value to others. And knowing that when you choose to speak up, you're sharing that value. I know that early, maybe in, it was about 2009, actually, I read the passage from Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear. And one of the things that she says in there is that, there is no purpose in us holding back our light, in playing small. And then the very last line in the passage is, when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously liberate others to do the same. And we have to start realizing that we do have something to say. And that when we speak up for ourselves, and for the things that we are passionate about, we send this ripple effect of strength to others to stand into their light too. So I think, not having that fear and understanding that if you are really believing that you are sharing value, you have an obligation to speak up and to get that message out there. Because even if it's just one person that hears it, that's a success. So for me, understanding and owning your voice is not holding back and not having that fear, and realizing that we all have something powerful to say.
Amazing and powerful. So your name is Clara, and you play you played with the name and you make it clarity. So what
Yes.
does clarity bring us? Which
Yes.
means
And I
clarity.
love that you brought this up. You know, growing up, I hated my name. I have 3 siblings and they all have very common names, Lisa, Paul, and Amy. And then there's this Clara in the bunch. And I hated it growing up because nobody ever gets it right. Nobody knows how to spell it. But I think my parents must have known, because this is, again, what I do is I get people clear. So for me, when I help to bring people clarity, it's, again, clarity of what they're really working towards. It's clarity of knowing the value that they bring. It is clarity of knowing how they should be investing their time and their money so that it's in alignment with everything they do. And just, again, clarity in overall who they are.
Yes, wonderful. So since we know that everyone is looking for clarity, and we keep saying clarity is the first step to be able to discover your purpose, whatever your goals and everything. So what is at least one process you can share with our audience so they get it as tangible? How do they get clear about what do they want to achieve, or about their goals? So take us.
Yes. You know, I think the first thing is to just start dreaming a little bit, you know, and really sit down and create a written vision. And this could be called a life list, a bucket list, whatever it is that they want to do, but really sitting down and asking themselves, what are some of the things that I want to accomplish? What is it that I want to do, to be, to have, and to give? And that is a great place to start the vision and to start thinking about what is it that you want to create, so that when you are lying there on your last day, you can look back and feel great and feel like you lived, and you lived fully engaged. Then what you do from that is then you start thinking about work and how can you do what you do professionally to start to fund this vision of your life. And then as new opportunities come up, you start to ask yourself, is this opportunity going to feed into my vision? Is it in alignment with my goals and my visions? So that's going to make it easier to know what to say yes to and what to say no to, because you start really only saying yes if they're going to position you to become the person you want to become and help you achieve the goals that you want. So I think that's a really great way. And then you need to revisit it on a regular basis. So again, creating a vision board, or just even, you know, looking at that list, but keeping it in the forefront, because that keeps you motivated. It reminds you of what you are working for. So on the days that are challenging, you know, it gives you that fuel, that fire in your belly to know that you're working for this bigger vision. So that would be a great first step for somebody to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is really clear. And I understand that when we have it in front of us, written or photos or whatever we want, it will trigger in us it will give us or return us to the right track, because most of us get wrong tracked sometimes, get off track. So this way it's better and good. I love that. So we create our life and what we want and who do we want it to be and what do we want to have ahead, as if we know, because like you said, we get deep in our heart to understand it and to see that clarity. Yes. And also I know you are the strategist for the smart woman. what are your strategies for success?
So, I think that we don't give ourselves enough credit, and we tend to think we're not as smart as we are, and we really are. And when I talk about being, smarter, it's really, again, looking at, is everything in alignment? And the word SMART was taught to me by one of my mentors years ago as an acronym. And it breaks down to, again, are you being strategic? Are you measuring what you're doing to make sure that it's working and delivering the results? Are you taking the right action? Too many of us do too many things. And what we actually want to do is do less, but at a higher level. The R stands for rest and recovery. We've got to take time for downtime because that revitalizes us, it rejuvenates us, and it reconnects us with our creativity and our vision. And then the last thing is time. Again, time is so precious, and we need to start thinking about time as an investment. So are we investing our time in the right areas? So I think, sitting down and going through these and really getting clear on what is it that you want to accomplish? What are the actions that you really must do? It's not, can I do something? Because we're all capable of doing anything. It's, should I be doing these things? Really putting out, am I carving out time every day, every week for things that bring me joy? Am I able to truly disconnect? Yes, it can be for a week at a time, but even for 5 minutes a day, can you just turn off the noise and give yourself a chance to rest and recharge yourself? And then again, when every opportunity comes up, is this where I want to be investing my time? Is this an area that's going to help me move forward, or is it going to take me away? Because the truth is not everything works the way we need it to work. So again, just really getting more clarity in those areas. So looking at those for you and creating your plan.
Beautiful. I love when you said that we need, especially entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs working in the house, with family and outside the house, or in her house, but in her office and the house, and get to do a lot of stuff at the same time. So how can she remind herself to craft a time for herself to rest so she can be more productive later? Is there any reminder or something you use or you teach your students to use so they can get alerted that that's it, this is your time, go for it no matter what?
Because too many of us put ourselves last and we think I'll get to it later, and it's really hard. So I'm not even going to discount that it's not hard, because life is busy and life is very demanding. So it is a mindset shift. So we don't start with the action of taking time. We have to start with reprogramming our brain as to understanding why. And it's the idea that the heart pumps blood, but what muscle, what organ does the heart pump blood to first? It pumps blood to itself first, because if the heart doesn't work, it can't pump blood to everything else. We have to be that heart. We have to take care of ourselves first, because if I want to be the best mom, the best mentor, the best speaker, the best author, the best TV show host, if I want to be the best, I've got to be energized. I cannot give when I am running on empty. So for me, taking downtime, it's not about being selfish. It's not simply also just because I'm tired. I do it so I can give the best of myself to those around me that I love and that I have committed to. Because especially in business, nobody is hiring a 70% Clara to show up as a keynote speaker at their event. They're expecting to get 100%. And that is my commitment to the people that I serve. My son is expecting that I'm with him. I'm giving him 100% of my presence, even though now he's 16 years old and he really could care less if I'm around or not. Even if it's that 5 minutes, I got to be there for him for those 5 minutes. And so I take time off so I can give. And when you can really understand and shift that, it becomes less about you and again, more about the value that you can deliver to others. And I have an obligation to go on vacation, to take time off, to rest myself, because I cannot give if I don't do those things. So women just have to start understanding it's not about just taking time off and simply laying around. It's all about positioning yourself for greatness and better connections.
Beautiful. I will take this into consideration into my life. So how you set your calendar to have it
Yep.
that much clear in front of you, and take appointments with yourself on vacation.
Yes.
How do you usually?
And honestly, that's what I teach people when I teach them about putting their schedule, and we start talking about time. I tell them, when you put your schedule together, the first things that goes into your schedule is you. Because the reason that people don't have a life is because they don't plan for a life. So the first thing that goes into your schedule is, when are you going to take time to energize yourself and put those things in there. After you put in the core things for yourself, maybe your family, then you can start to look at what are your hours of operation for work.
I love that. And how can we leverage the time so we can create money?
Yeah, the best way to leverage the time is you have got to work on blocking out distractions. One, when you get clear on what you need to do and not what you can do, that's the first step. So first and foremost, get clear on the few things that you must do. And then what you want to do is you really want to have focused bubbles of time. So you don't need to sit down for 5 hours, because oftentimes, our brain is not designed to work. You've got to work in shorter bursts. So it's actually better for us to work in maybe 45-minute increments. But during those 45 minutes, you got to block out distractions. You cannot be checking your voicemails, your emails, so that you get 45 minutes of true work done. And it's your highest quality work in your highest directed activities. Then take a little bit of a break, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Assess, check your voicemails, check your emails, and then come back and do another tight bubble of focus. But when you can really show up and you work, because the truth is the distractions are not going to stop. The calls are still going to come in, the emails are still going to come in. But when you control those and you minimize those distractions, you can stay more focused. Now, this is also going to require that you educate your clients and you set the expectations with your clients and letting them know how communication works. Because the truth is, most of our people, a normal person is going to be okay if you tell them, my goal is to always return a call or an email within a 3-hour window. Most people are going to be okay with that. So they've given you permission, but you've got to set that expectation up, and then you need to follow through.
So you gave yourself permission at the beginning to set your boundaries and say what you want to say, so others can give you can understand what can they expect from you, and they will be okay with it. I love that. I love it. So, and leveraging our time and setting our boundaries made us achieve more than if we are sitting for 5-6 hours, making ourselves busy, but not really on the right track of what we are busy at. How many tasks you put on your agenda daily that this is what I'm gonna achieve today? Is that true? We're gonna have 5, 6, 7, or we can limit what we are working on?
That's a really, really good question. So what I do is, for me, it starts at the beginning of the week. So on Sunday night, I sit down and I do a strategy meeting with myself for the week, where I put my schedule together and I get focused on what do I need to do. And what I do is I make a list of all the to-dos that I have for the week. Then what I do each and every day is, when I go into the day, I look at my schedule for the day. And I say, okay, based upon my schedule for the day, which of these items do I feel I can get done today? and I only take 3 items at a time because our brains get overwhelmed easily. And what studies have taught us is that when our brain is being fed more than 5 bits of information at a time, it slows down its processing. And if we feed it more than 9 bits of information, it basically stops. This is why if you are constantly looking at a to-do list with 15 items, you don't even know where to begin. So what I do is I then say, okay, here are the 3 things that I want to do today, and I can go and put those 3 things into my schedule. For example, if one of the items that I have to do today is to go and pick up a prescription at the grocery store, I can look over my schedule and say, oh, okay, you know what? I have to go to an appointment on this side of town. On my way back, I can stop at the store and pick up my prescription. So I can pencil it in at the time and then make it in there, because then I can work with it. When I can get those 3 items done, if I have time, I'll go back to the list and say, what are the next 3 that I want to work on? But that helps me carve it out, because even if I don't get the entire to-do list done, if I get only 3 things done a day, but they are the most important things that I can do that day, that's 15 to 21 items a week. That's pretty good.
Yes, of course. Okay, from your point of view, how can we create a new money reality?
You know, I think it's all in defining what is success for you, you know, because money means different things to everybody. It could mean financial freedom. It could mean power. It could mean the ability to influence, to leave behind a legacy. It could simply mean survival. So you have to start defining again, what is success for you? Early on in my career, I was a single mom. Again, my son was young. I was not making very much money. So it was all about survival. How am I going to put food on the table? As I've grown, now it's more of a point of how can I give back and how can I invest? So you've got to start defining for yourself, because your money is going to feed your definition of success. So for me, when I sit back and I ask myself, what does success mean to me? It boils down to 3 things. Every day, did I show love today? Did I inspire today? And did I contribute positively to the world today? And what I want to do is, when that is my vision of success, my money mindset is, how can I use my money to do these 3 things? So my motivation is not making the money. My motivation is in the serving. How can I give back? How can I, give and show up for others? And that motivates me to make more money. So again, I think you've got to start to really look at, what is it? If it is just survival, then use that. But again, it can be progressive over time and it can change over time. But it all comes down with, again, your mindset and what you feel your vision is for success.
Wonderful, beautiful. And I don't believe that anybody will look for money just to survive, because other than that, why people are running left and right just to make more money so they can live a better life, or the life that they dream about. But
well, and when we chase the money, that's where we get burned out, because it's not fulfilling. So that's why, again, how are you using it to invest in your life list? How are you using it to invest in how you want to contribute back? The money has got to have meaning behind it.
100%. Yes, the money is only the outcome of something we give, and we, exactly. Yeah, wonderful. And as much as we give, as much as we have coming back to us. But it's not giving money, maybe giving advices, maybe giving time, giving listening, giving presence, whatever we give love. So lots of money comes, or whatever, in return. So, well, I know you have a gift and you would love to share with everybody. And I would love for you also to share with them where they can find out more information about you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So my free gift to everyone is my ebook, which is The Art of Saying No. Again, going back to the idea of we've got to value what we bring to the table. We've got to value our time, our voice, and our vision. So we need to learn the power of saying no and how no puts us in a position to create success. But we also know that saying no isn't always easy. So I give them a few simple tips on how they can learn not just the power of saying no, but how to say it in a way that others may not be hearing no. So that's the free gift that I have for them. And then what I encourage everyone to do is if they just go to my website, which is just claracapano.com, they can get access to learn more about me. They can watch my TV shows, read my blogs, order my books, hire me as a speaker. They can get all of their clarity on my website.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Clara. And I want to take a minute to acknowledge you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being this spirit, this woman, this leader. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, Clara.
Thank you. And thanks again for what you're doing. And thank you for allowing me to share my voice. And I hope it's brought value to so many of your viewers. So thank you.
Definitely it does. And now that's all what we have for now. Until next time, keep it fun, keep it easy. Prosperity is your birthright. Thank you, Clara.